All right, welcome back to Black Lodge Trivia Night. This is Art, and once again we are continuing our Lord of the Rings Online run through the main story. Last time, Volume 3, Book 13, obviously was flat out banger because it was the Battle of Helm's Deep. The entire book was the Battle of Helm's Deep, and I thought it was really well done. I thought it was really well handled, executed. They gave you two options, one to play sort of a more gamified, strategic, higher level approach. I took the ground level story driven path because that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing the story. So we're here now ready to get started with book 14. And, we've got the aftermath. That's the main gates. No, that's the water. I don't know where the main gates are. But yeah, we're looking at Helm's Deep in the aftermath of the battle. Obviously, the wall was blown. The main stronghold has seen better days, but while it bent, it did not break. And so we're going to continue now by speaking with Theoden. A couple things. First of all, let me turn this back on. Let me do that. And just so I'm not the one weird one out, let me get on a horse. All right, that feels better. Let's talk.
We have seen victory this day, but our work is not ended.
We have earned a brief respite only and must take steps to ensure the safety of the mark without much pause. The king sees the bundle of poultices in your hand and shakes his head. I'm fine. I've suffered bruises only, and the strength of my fathers has kept me from sustaining grievous injury. Many of my men will have need of that healing. Bring those packets to them and see to their hurts. Look, too, for men with swift horses and command them to ride for all corners of the mark with news of what happened at the Hornburg. I want every vale in the Rittermark to have tidings of our victory and to send their strongest fighters to Edoras by the second day of the full moon. After you've exhausted the poultices and the riders have set forth, find Erkenbrand and give him my thanks for his timely arrival. Without his men, this sun might have risen on a different day for Rohan. Makes sense, right? You want to get the word out like, hey, these guys tried to show up and we said nope, and there's hope. We can do this. It's not hopeless. Okay. I will not forget the long night. Many are the tales we will tell of the great Battle of Helm's Deep. Okay, so if you did not complete the storied tales, this quest will give you the opportunity to play them. So I'm going to decline. Because what I'm assuming is if you chose the, let me just accept it. I mean, it'll stick it in there, whatever, but I'm not going to actually do anything. Travel later. Yeah, I don't want to necessarily do that. I will make haste to my horse. So yeah, he's going to take off. So I feel like if you chose the more gamified way, that's going to let you have the opportunity to see what you missed, which I think is a good call. My injuries are not that severe, okay. Horse is sick. Okay, so it looks like we're having trouble finding people that have a horse ready to go. Okay, he's good. Oh, I see. So the people that say, hey, my wounds were not as bad as I thought, they're not actually checking the box for the... Okay, yeah, they are saying, I don't need it, I'm not that bad. Okay, so we've taken care of that. Let's see if we can now get the message out to the rest of Rohan. Right.
We have wrested victory from the very claw of Saruman.
This is a proud day for the Riders of the Mark. We have wrested victory from the very claw of Saruman, even as he thought his triumph assured. The House of Earl is stronger than he supposed, despite thrice-cursed Weirgenda and the whispers of frailty that have been uttered throughout the Mark. Theoden King has fight in him still, as does his sister son Eomer. Erkenbrand strikes his shield with the side of his sword and cries victory for the Ingerlas, a cry that is answered from others in the Rohirrim throughout the field. After a moment, he turns again to you with a smile. We put the Dunlendings to work, hauling away the bodies of the orcs and cleaning the field of battle. Any who take a solemn vow not to cross the fords in war ever again will have the forgiveness of our king.
It will be a few hours before we ride for the Ring of Isengard and its evil master.
Gandalf has decided to ride to Isengard to confront Saruman, and my uncle is determined he should ride with him. Some others will go as well, but first we have need of rest. It will be a few hours before we ride with the ring for the Ring of Isengard and its evil master, and all of us toiled greatly during the night. Find Dairwine inside the Hornburg. I'm going to make this a little bigger. He's begun to arrange bedrolls for those seeking to rest for the journey. Again, I'm curious if this kind of thing, we've talked about, how it's good that the landscape can adjust to the story. Like maybe I'm sure there's like instances of different versions of Helm's Deep. They go here for pre-battle, here for post-battle. I'm kind of curious how that works though, like in an open world setting where you just kind of walk through the, like at what point does it like start loading in the altered assets? I mean, that's just purely a technical thing. It's not really.
I will tell you the tale of Hama's heroic stand, if you will hear it.
Now let's see what's going on here. This day brings a new dawn for so it's sort of a flaming circle, like it's a real story quest. So this day brings a new dawn for Rohan, but not without cost. Many friends and kinsmen came to their ends during the long night on the wall, and it's this minstrel's sad duty to remember them. I'm gonna try it just because I'm kind of curious what this even means. So do we play like fallen? I guess we'll find out. Yeah, but I'm kind of curious when they start like dynamically loading in an altered set of assets. Like from what I've seen of Knights of the Old Republic, the Star Wars one, where they really
Dawn had not yet come.
did that. It was often
Leaned into the gatehouse, eager to spill the blood of Theoden. One man stood in their path, Hama, the doorward of Theoden.
it was clear where like there were just doors, and then they would load it. You know what the problem is? My UI is not loaded. That's the issue. Oh, because I went into a new area, right? So yeah, I always have to pull this up. For a while I had it memorized, but now I'm trying to figure out how to. It is UI layout. Okay, let me just do that real quick. UI layout load. There we go. Rumors have begun to spread of a growing concern in the northern wild reaches of Rohan. I don't know, I'm just going to accept it for now. I just don't know what it is. These I've been declining. Startling destruction in Isengard. I'll take a look at that. I don't know what that is. I feel like not everything is saved, though. Let me, options, advanced UI settings. I don't think it's... I feel like that's getting closer, right? I don't know what that is. 150? Go a little bigger, why not? Okay, draw upon reserves of strength by focusing on the glory of Rohan. Not sure how to do that. Glory of Rohan. Okay, there we go.
Hama thought of the glory of Rohan, and his strength was renewed.
So I can tell you, you know, I've mentioned it before, a lot of technical issues going on behind the scenes. You know, one of the videos at the end is just getting like one frame every 5 seconds, etc., etc. I've mentioned this in the Dark Souls streams that I've recorded, but due to changing circumstances, potentially my job, that it's kind of going away in its current form. I need to potentially be able to rely on this machine as like a sort of quote-unquote mission critical kind of work thing. So what was becoming like, geez, man, I'm getting really annoyed that this isn't working, and why is getting more like, I need this to work right now. So, and I was like, if I have hardware problems, I'm probably going to have to reinstall Windows anyway. So let me start with the Windows reinstall.
Hama thought of the House of Aeor, and his strength was renewed.
And so I did that, actually twice. And you're just never quite sure what's going to happen when you start firing stuff up. Now, I have Windows on a drive, all my games on another drive, all the media I use for editing on a third drive. So, you know, everything's isolated, so if Windows gets wiped out, it's reinstalling software, but it's not like I should lose important data.
Hama stood with his back to the door and prepared for the end. I will not retreat from here the tread of a single foot, he cried aloud. A doorward I was, he shouted, and a doorward I remain. Even as he fell, he heard the horn of Helm echo in the deep. Forth the Aerolingus, ride to victory!
Okay. And again, and Lord of the Rings in particular can be tricky. Like, when I tried to reinstall it on another machine, install it on another machine, like, or maybe it was this one at one point, I wasn't 100% sure I was going to get it running again, because the install package doesn't always get the game up and running on the first try, and you have to, jump through hoops for some, not every time, but for some. And I ran into that problem at one point. And I was like, I don't know if I can get this up and running again. So I will say, though, having this on like a separate games drive, firing it up, it's like, hey, we're missing some like Microsoft C++ installable, whatever. Once it does that, it seems to be pretty good so far. Reinstalling Windows has not been a problem. But there was one window where I really thought, this might not work. And I don't know if I have it in me to fix it, because I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I talked through that whole thing like a jerk, but again, it was sort of like a heroic, touching stand of Hama, who held the door just long enough for the king to make his ride.
And so passed Hama, the doorward of Theoden.
Without him, the gate and perhaps the kingdom itself would not be broken. Let's just see other...
Do not forget Hama.
I won't.
I know that Theoden King will not.
So again, we gotta do all these things. Optional mission report to recruiter. No, thank you. And what was the last one? No, thank you. Yeah, so I was a little nervous about what was going to happen there. So far, so good. And I will tell you the reason why I said like I did it twice. Oh. He has a ring over his character like it's a quest, like a story quest. Left dag. This is this is appropriately heavy. This is what it is, right? Like the battle's over. Did we win? Yes. Technically speaking, we did. But it was barely a win. And I appreciate that the game is not at all shying away from the cost. Again, maybe this happens all the time in other MMOs, but what... I don't know. What MMO main story has the gravitas where... what we're seeing is narratively the right, tough thing to do?
We spoke yesterday, do you remember?
Around sunset. Feels like a lifetime ago. Always take the...
Speak to me if you are ready, and I will prepare a place for you.
The king and some others of his guard plan to ride to Isengard, but first they will take some hours rest. You should do as well. Speak to me if you're ready, and I'll prepare a place for you. I'm gonna do something cheap. I'm curious what this interlude is with Theoden.
I will see to it that Hammer will not be forgotten.
Yeah, so he's gonna remember Hama in particular. I get to choose one. Interestingly enough, this is one of the few times that the weapon does more than what I'm rolling with as my legendary weapon. But I can take a shield that's going to really bump up my defense by a couple hundred. I'm going to go with this one. It's a little more defensive rating, I think. The other one, I think, helps a little more with offense. So I need to now find that shield. Because again, in 4K, we're not going to get much help in the looking at the items. Basically, I'm trying to see if there's one more. You get like the little blinking thing around the potions I just got. I'm trying to see if there's any blinking to be seen. Around a potential shield. See, we can sort items. I always forget I can do that. Or did I not grab that shield? Anyway, so one of the things I've been doing recently, it's right there. I don't know why it doesn't have a over 16,000 morale. Nice. Talk to. Okay, so that sort of completes the interlude. I just wanted to have that checked off if indeed that was the end of it. I've been watching some stuff about like plugins and things like that, and I was curious if there are inventory viewer. Like I know one plugin that people recommended like was this inventory viewer, but basically it lets you look at every single item in the whole game, and you can use it to test out like some Fashion Souls kind of stuff. I'm not looking for that in particular, but if there was a way to say like, hey, focus on what's actually in my bag and make that a little more visible, that could help. Anyway, what I was saying earlier about like reinstalling stuff, I can tell you, I don't know if this is going to be exact, but I can tell you what my suspicion is. It was AMD software. Now, I don't know if it was causing all my problems initially, but you know, I have an AMD motherboard, but which is going to have integrated graphics on it, and I have a NVIDIA GPU. And I saw that like, oh, there's chipset driver updates. So I was like, okay, let me get that. And all of a sudden it's like it's installing the entire AMD Adrenalin package. And then the instant that finished installing and updating and did the restart, all the problems I was having before came back harder than ever. Like monitors turning on and off for no reason. I couldn't use my computer because my main display would just flicker on for half a second, then turn off for 5 seconds, then flicker on. Like the instant that finished installing, my whole system went to shit. And so that's why I said I did 2 Windows reinstalls, because like I managed to finally get into safe mode, uninstall that. Like, you know what? I don't want any remnants of that, echoes of it anywhere. So I was like, I'm just going to reinstall Windows one more time and never touch that shit again. And as a video editor, you know, there are advantages to Intel products. And I was sitting there going like, you know, did I make like a huge mistake not going with an Intel CPU and motherboard? I know AMD's current motherboards have like crappier memory managers or something. For the longest time, like I still can't, but for the longest time I was trying to put 4 sticks of RAM into my AMD motherboard. The thing just shat the bed, and finally it's like, I can only do 2. After some Googling, everybody's like, yeah, just do 2. Like, that's fucked up. Like, what are you talking about? And then, yeah, like, and I didn't know this, you know, with the first time I was having all these problems, but just the AMD Adrenalin stuff was just something I just didn't install the second time, and everything was smooth. I'm sorry, with the first reinstall, and then I was like, oh wait, there's chipset drivers. Let me figure that out. And then instantly, everything went to shit. Like just everything. It was alarming how much all of it went to shit.
After a short rest, the company sets out for Isengard and finds the road greatly changed.
It was immediate. Hope you found rest before we set out. I tried to do so, but I could not quite get my roving mind. Could not quiet my roving mind, and I am still greatly fatigued. What will we find in Isengard? Aragorn looks from side to side at the towering trunks of the forest. These trees were not here when we arrived at Helm's Deep yesterday. I think we both know what brought them here, to the foot of the dike, but That makes it no less frightening, a sight, does it not? You can sense it. The presence watches us from among the trees. I do not think the trees bear us any ill will, Aragorn. I hope you're right, Gand. I'm gonna hang back. I do not feel welcome among the trees. Well, we should not stray from the path at any rate. You do not need to worry about that, Gandalf. Legolas, why are we stopping? Wait, do you hear that? I hear a great sound of creaking timbers and rustling branches. It comes this way. Legolas, what are you doing? Come back. Look, among the trees. What are those creatures? They are Ents, Theoden King, shepherds of the forest. Have you forgotten the tales of your youth? I never believed I would see such things. Ents? I'm filled with wonder at the sight, wonder of a kind I thought was the sole reserve of children. I'm an old man, a white beard of many winters, and I still have seen things this day I would not have believed yesterday. They tower above mortal men and cover such a span with each stride. What damage they could do to the homes of my people if that was their thought. But I do not believe that is their desire. Now I understand the meaning of this forest, Gandalf. I gave nary a thought to the Ents, not since I was a boy. Why would they help us now? You have more allies than you suppose, Theoden King. Even among those you deem no more than a legend. The Ents are herdsmen, not warriors. The people of Rohan need not fear them as long as they cause no harm to their flock. There is one in this land that would have done well to heed the Ents before now. If he had heeded them in battle... If he had heeded them, the battle that has lately ended might have come to a different conclusion. It's good for Rohan and for all free folk that he did not take them into account. Let us proceed. There are still many miles to go before we reach Isengard. Fords of Isen are a sad reminder of the good folk who fell. Yeah, I'm just realizing now, as much as I have set everything back up, there's a couple of things I have not set up quite correctly, so nothing impactful from what I'm seeing, but there's still a few tweaks. Like, in OBS, my microphone channel is coming in as stereo when it should be mono. You know, doesn't matter either way. But. Okay, many good men fell. We are almost to Isengard and will bring report of their valiant sacrifice to the wizard who forced its need. Let's rejoin our companions. You do not want them to deal with Saruman before we arrive, do you? Do you hear that? The horseman approaches from behind us, and at great speed. I hear the sound of swift hoofbeats approaching from behind us. Let us confront this rider before he overtakes us and offers some harm to the king. Ride with me, and we will learn if he be friend or foe. Halt. Who rides to Rohan? Rohan, you say? That is the land we seek, and with haste. Oh shit. Rohan is ruled by Theoden King, and none enter that land without his leave. It's the Rangers? What is the meaning of your haste? I am Halbarad, Dunedain of the North. We seek Aragorn, son of Arathorn. And you have found him. Aragorn. Bringing it all together. I'm trying to get a little more distance. I don't know why I'm... It's good to see you again. I knew in my heart we would see you once more, but I did not think to find you in the company of my chieftain. Much has happened since we parted, and little of it good, but we will need to speak of our respective deeds when there is time to breathe. We found Aragorn between perils, it seems. He had your help for the first, and he has all of us for the second. May it be enough. We're well met once again, but in hardship. I sought the treacherous leader of the Falcon clan, but he gave me the slip and escaped into the mountains. He lives still the life of a coward. You tell Galadir that Lou Brennan's flight brought him into your path, and he's been slain. You tell me true? Then he has paid for his crimes. He abandoned some of his own people when he fled, and we left them in a place of peace, where they should be safe. I worried that their former chieftain might seek them out and visit on them further harm, but even Saruman's magic cannot help Lou Brennan now. I'm satisfied. Thank you on behalf of my fallen kinsman, and also for those of his own people he betrayed. Seems you found Aragorn before we did. Perhaps we should have gone with you. It was not a long goodbye after all, though the intervening days have been eventful. I think Halbarad keenly felt the burden of his duty after you left us, for he was not sure how to best proceed. But it seems he chose aright, for we have found Aragorn as the words of Galadriel bade us. The sons of Elrond bear messages for him from their father, and Halbarad carries the gift of Arwen. I trust that Aragorn will know what to do with each of these gifts. This is truly an unexpected encounter. I'm glad to see you are well and in the company of Aragorn, no less. Our errand has not ended, though its first goal be now accomplished. Now we must lend what aid we can to Aragorn. Is it true you take the road to Isengard? Whatever other objective Aragorn has with Saruman, we must add this one as well. The rescue of Lothrandir, my kinsman if he yet lives. Halbarad has given me much to think about, Black Lodge. We have more reasons to converse with Saruman than I believed. Alright, I feel confident we can accomplish anything. Can it be the tides turn our favor this day? So we're back at Helm's Deep, I think. Maybe we just didn't get very far. I really like the idea of this, right? Like, the side characters have been strong enough where reuniting with them is good. It's narratively satisfying. When we ran into Nona and I'm forgetting now, the guy crushing on her, coming back into the Grey Company, it's these connections that, it's part of like classic Tolkien storytelling, but they're doing a good job pulling it off.
We would see each other again, but I did not know it would be so soon.
Sending you from us was not an easy decision, but I knew Theodred had need of your aid. What sadness that he could not be saved from the fate, but perhaps that too contributed to the resolve of the Erlingaz. The Grey Company has done what it set out to do. We have ridden to our chieftain in Rohan, and it seems we have come in time after all. Some of our number were lost along the way, but those of us that remain will do everything in our power to ensure that Aragorn can fulfill his destiny. I'm glad to see you again, Black Lodge.
I have much to think about and little time in which to do so.
This is an unexpected joy, my friend. Had I known they were journeying to find me. Aragorn looks at you wryly. When you spoke to me of the Dunedain, I did not suspect you had traveled with them in recent days. I do not think I would have changed my course had I known, but perhaps that is the power of hindsight. Perhaps it is the wisdom of Elrond behind your silence, my friend. He's never quick to volunteer information, which makes the word of his sons even more curious. I have much to think about, and little time in which to do so.
I am most curious to see what we will find in Isengard.
I spoke briefly with Halbarad, and if I had business within Isengard before now, I counted double. We must find if Lothrandir still lives within the ring. Let Gandalf speak with Saruman for weeks if that's his desire, but my thoughts are of my kinsman. I've not seen him for many years, but Lothrandir has been a friend for longer than that, and I will not abandon him. Let us ride along the road to Isengard. I'm most curious to see what it is we will find. So there we go. We just hit level 91. So we're just going to clear these out one more time. And I'm glad, okay, so you can sort of see, I'm glad that we hit level 91. I knew we were close, but, because now the book quest is orange instead of red, so we're less likely to, get jammed up. So I need to ride along the road north to Isengard and remain alert. Now, in real life, it's been a little bit since I last played Lotro, so I might be a little bit rusty. I know, like, scheduling-wise, these have been pretty consistent, but recording-wise, it's been a little all over the place. Like I was saying, my literal job in its exact form is going away. And so I've been dealing a lot with potential fallout from that. By the time this goes up, it would have been whatever happened would have happened weeks ago. But at the time of this recording, it is very much right in front of me. So we're just trying to do what I can to do the best I can as things change. A curious stillness covers the land, and pools of water stand near the road. I had a little bit of a unicorn situation that I was always very grateful for. And that unicorn situation is disappearing, and I don't know if it's going to be replaced with a more typical one or just going away entirely.
Isengard has been much changed since last you beheld it.
You may not recognize it. I dare say Saruman himself does not, though he brought it upon himself. Ride north to the gate of Isengard. So we'll have to see. I'm not happy about this. I greatly enjoyed my job. I enjoyed the people I worked with. I enjoyed just about everything about it. So I'm not happy that this is happening, but, it's not up to me. It wouldn't be by my choice, I'll say that. Current quests.
Weird is angered by your presence.
Men, raise your weapons. We're not through yet. The Dunlending chief's command is met only with groans of pain and fear by his men.
You will not live long enough, I think, to help us.
These look like side quests. Look at the destruction the trees have brought to the Vale. Saruman's undone. They've allowed my men and me to flee, but I don't trust them. I know they are still here. No, they're watching us. There's one outside the ring across the river. Eisen, I swear, will not let us live. You've delayed us long enough, man. If your foolish journey brings you to Isengard, then so be it. We shall not remain long. We're going to Dunland. But I thought there was another quest that they were offering up. Anyway, and I don't say like I wouldn't choose, like I'm not bitter, these things happen. But it's very disappointing because again, I really liked my job. Yeah, on multiple levels. And, and you hate impacting your family, right? So. Alright, so we're riding north. Yeah, let's hit this and then we'll cut east on our way back. Find that Ent. Very walls of Isengard may have been damaged by some mighty force. Let's open up this stable master.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
Oh, Merry and Pippin.
Hello there. It's been a long time.
I hope you're well.
Welcome to Isengard.
The look on your face is quite a thing to see, my confused friend. Welcome to Isengard. You've had a number of adventures, I expect, and would you believe that we have as well? We've all come a long way from Lothlorien, haven't we? Much of the trip was rather unpleasant owing to our new friends, Ugluk and Grishnak. I suppose they're old friends now. We shan't be seeing them again, and that's a relief. Treebeard and Quickbeam are nice fellows, if a little odd, and I do believe I've grown several inches taller. Pippin laughs at your confused look. I don't mean metaphorically, though perhaps I have at that. I mean that I actually have grown taller.
I think Pip is trying to confuse you on purpose.
He gets the chance to do that so infrequently that he delights in it whenever the opportunity presents itself. It seems we've gone from the fire back into the frying pan for once. Pip and I were dragged halfway across Rohan by our captors, and though we have arrived at Isengard, it was in the strong hands of a friend, and not at the whips of Saruman's orcs. It was Treebeard who brought us here, you see, and he is well. He is Fangorn, and Fangorn is he, apparently. This is more difficult than I expected when I began to tell it. We found some pipeweed inside the gatehouse. How about you bring some more out here and I will try and tell it properly. Gatehouse is filled with rubble and the floodwaters have reached here too. So I'll say, the last couple months, there's been a lot of uncertainty. And there's still not 100% certainty, but there's more. And it's absolutely not the outcome I would have chosen. At least I now know, okay, this is the circumstances I'm dealing with. To go from there.
Allow me to refill my pipe, and I can resume my story.
Ah, very good, my friend. That's a very high-quality pipeweed of the sort they grow in the South Farthing back home. Allow me to refill my pipe, and I can resume my story. I was going to tell you about Treebeard and the Ents, I believe. Let me see. But it seems that Aragorn is troubled about something. Perhaps you should speak with him first. And I will continue my story when he has a happier look about him. Right.
That pipeweed was not grown at Isengard. It came from the Shire.
And it does not bear a resemblance only to that of the South Farthing. That weed has come from the Shire, which means that Saruman had his eyes upon the land for some while. I do not like that at all. If our fortune holds, the wizard will have no further chance for mischief. His interest in the Shire may have extended only to its pipeweed. Or maybe there's more.
I do not doubt Saruman's ability to strike, even now.
Saruman seems to be in a tough position, but I would counsel caution in the dealings with him. I do not doubt his ability to strike even now, and a cornered beast can still do great harm. Gandalf went ahead to the base of Orthanc. Find him and see what he thinks of the situation.
Pip and I met Treebeard after we escaped from the orcs.
Okay, so we're gonna get an intro. Let's bang out this interlude. Again, flesh out the story a little bit.
We didn't see him at first, and why not? We had never seen anything like Treebeard before.
Okay.
Except for trees. I suppose. He does look rather treeish.
Ugh. So it's slash UI load layout. Yeah, whatever. There we go. Okay. Talk to one of the curious creatures. Because I'm trying to find Merry and Pippin. I guess I'll stick to the path. I'm not 100% sure if that's... Or maybe they were already up the hill. Like, I just don't know. Did I screw this up by not checking my 6 before I came down the hill? Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Well, it's nice to meet you, Treebeard. I've never met an Ent before. My name is Peregrine Took, but my friends call me Pippin, or Pip. I'm a hobbit. Never heard of hobbits before? I suppose we were always getting left off the old lists and stories. How about you add a line for us? Something like... Half-grown hobbits, the whole dwellers. Nice one, Pip. It's a pleasure to meet you, Treebeard. My name is Meriadoc Brandybuck, but most people just call me Mary. We've become separated from our friends, and it seems like Saruman's orcs would very much like to find us again and bring us to their master.
He has a peculiar way about him, but he seemed friendly enough to us. He offered to take us to his home, or one of them. He has a few.
You're certain this is the right place? I don't see a house anywhere. The size of that tree, Mary. Is it far, Treebeard? Now what? Behind the waterfall. Oh, that is clever. Again, I'm a big fan of there should be something behind waterfalls. So, that gets the Art Black Lodge
It's
Trivia
a
Night
rather lovely place, actually.
stamp of approval.
Quite homey, in its own way.
See a table, but no hobbit-sized chairs.
He offered us a drink that would keep us... what did he say? Green and growing for a long, long time. That was it.
And draft container. Okay. There's a command that I always forget that makes you lock onto a target. Bring the bowls to the new friends. I think it's the X key that lets you not target lock. Okay. What?
The drink tasted like water, but it was even better and more refreshing. A healthy sensation coursed from the hair on my toes to the hair on my head.
That was delicious, Treebeard. I feel refreshed and invigorated as if I had bountiful reserves of energy and could use them for anything at all. But we were going to tell you how we came into your forest, weren't we? I hope I have enough energy for that tale-telling.
Our conversation eventually turned to Saruman and Isengard. Treebeard decided something had to be done.
All right. I don't know what to expect, Treebeard. All of the Ents are like you. We're going to follow the hobbits. Do you think they'll agree with you about Saruman? Only one way to find out, Mary. He has to ask them.
Now, Ents take a long time to discuss things. A long time. A very long time.
All right. Greetings to you, my friend, from long ago when the forest was young and we were not full grown. I might be reading this faster than an Ent would say it. Many seasons have turned since last we spoke together. In the light of either sun or moon, it is many Ent strides from my home. Why have you called me to this place? You greet Baldbark and reminisce about conversations shared and absent friends. Eventually you speak of Saruman. I've been made aware of the wizard's crimes. He worked great evil in the reaches of the forest near my own home. I agree that something must be done. What will the others say of this? You thank Baldbark for his supportive words and wish him well in the debate to come. All right. You greet Beachbone, a handsome Ent. His path has crossed yours several times recently, and the memory of those pleasant conversations is still somewhat fresh. After a polite amount of time, your words turn to the matter of Saruman. You speak of our neighbor as if he is the enemy, and indeed he does not seem to be the friend he once was. Fumes rise from his home and the smell gives my nose offense, but that's not a crime. Orcs, too, could come from any number of holes. What evidence marks Saruman as their master? Beachbone politely declines to discuss the matter with you further, but he agrees to listen to the debate and may in time come around to your point of view.
It seemed to us they might discuss things forever.
You exchange pleasantries with Quickbeam, one of the younger Ents. He's not far from His home is not far from Durndingle, and sometimes you've seen him walking in the sunlight among the trees. Before much time has passed, the conversation turns to Saruman. Quickbeam seems to have some idea of the wizard's crimes already. Saruman has much for which to answer. He's a tree killer, and we have been quiet neighbors for far too long already. You find me over hasty, I know, but in this there seems to be little need for discussion. I have quite made up my mind. You tell Quickbeam of the 2 young hobbits you met and ask if he will watch them while you speak to the rest of the Ents at the Moot. He readily agrees.
This story is taking longer than I thought it would. Are you hungry? I have become a little peckish.
I have to talk to Mary. Oh, there he is. Okay. You Ents certainly do take a long time to make up your minds. I feel certain we would have decided this matter 6 or 7 times over if we were still in the Shire. Mary and Pippin listen as you explain that Quickbeam will watch over them. You feel certain that they will like the young Ent, for he is quite hasty in many respects. Well, if you say so, Treebeard. I think you might consider the slow drip of honey in the comb quite tasty in comparison to yourself. So Pip and I will be the judge of that if you don't mind. Okay, so we got through the Ent business, which, much like a conversation with an Ent,
That
took a little while.
Now, I think. Quite a tale, was it not?
Let me bump this up just a little bit. Pip and I went to Quickbeam's house after that, but my hunger has quite gotten the best of me and I've lost the mood for storytelling. Perhaps I'll tell you of the last march of the Ents after I've eaten, but that is enough for now, I think. Quite a tale, was it not? 94,000 experience, okay. Happy to take that. What we need to do is a couple things. Quickbeam's over here. Story missions over here. I'm half tempted to see what's up with Quickbeam. Nope. There we go. Okay. I love coming back here. We haven't seen an area in this physical state since, our time in Angmar. And, go back to all the time in Angmar. I loved it. And I talk about how, you feel, you're a long way, and I say in different ways, but you feel like you're a long way from the Shire. Evil's impact is dire there. So, and you're getting it here. I mean, obviously it's not taken over the entirety of the region the way Angmar is all shot. Oh, I've totally overshot, speaking of. But, Saruman... this is sort of like a parallel to real life, right? Like, if you can't coexist with your surroundings, you can't actually do what you're trying to do. If you can't pay your employees money you should be paying them, you can't actually do the business, right? Like, you haven't actually figured out the model of how to do it. Like, if you need to generate AI bullshit and you can only do it by sucking up all the energy on the planet, then you really haven't found a way to do it, because you need all the other people to be able to do all the other things so that you can continue to pursue your bullshit. And that bullshit could be any bullshit, but you know what I'm saying.
You are far from home.
Alright, this veil has changed from how I once knew it, and many friends have perished in the process. Thankfully, it's finally come to an end, and the land can begin to heal. Soon I must return to the forest, but first perhaps you can aid me in hindering the tree killer.
Let's not be hasty.
The tree killer fled into his tower. The coward knew what I would have done had I caught him. My brothers and I crushed many orcs, but I do not know if some remain hidden from our sight in Isengard. You are small and can fit where I cannot. If you could ease my fears, I can begin my journey home. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to do this is because I was hoping there'd be some overlap. You know, is he sending us into Isengard to parlay and deal with Saruman, much like I think the main story quest with Gandalf is going to do? That's my hope. And why I wanted to tackle them both. But yeah, I always feel like, not that I'm an expert in anything, which I think I've demonstrated over the hundreds of hours of however much you've watched of this, but you know, if you just harmony with your surrounding is an economic thing. It's not just, moral and not destroying where we live and et cetera, but it's also like you have to be able to do what you're trying to do in the confines of where you're trying to do it. So if what you're trying to do, destroys the planet, then you can't actually do it. You can in the most literal sense, but to what end? Like, what's the point of being able to generate AI bullshit if in the process of generating AI bullshit, you make it so that you can never generate AI bullshit again because everybody, has to worry about everything else. I don't know why it was sending me in here. Search the Ring of Isengard for orcs. Search the flooded tents for wreckage. Search Orthang's doorway for orcs. Anyway, again, like I'm not an expert, obviously. I'm a big fan of the expression, like a rising tide lifts all boats. And sometimes that rising tide is, making sure everybody's got the food and shelter and stability they require so that then they can indulge your bullshit. But we are, unfortunately, a species, I think, sort of hell-bent on rather short-term thinking. And I feel like we make that worse with how we conduct economics sometimes. Okay, so a lot of things just popped up. A lot of rings. Let's start exploring. Oh man, you can see, yeah, like, I like this, of course. Obviously, this area would be flooded because it's part of the Ents attack on Isengard. They naught but crushed, damp tents and rubble remain outside Orthanc. Very thematically, nature won the day. Saruman attacked nature in order to push towards his means, and nature was the one to push back and shut it down. And not that I always enjoy Tolkien's moment-to-moment writing, but that's what you want to do. It wasn't just that the Ents smashed, only shredded banners lining the broken road that once surrounded Orthanc. They smashed, but they also harnessed the power of water, rivers. So yeah, they, it's good stuff. I don't know if can I get up? It's kind of cool though, right? Anyway, I didn't mean for any of that to be like some kind of moral... I do have feelings about it on a moral level, but I also get that, nobody needs me to impose morality on them. Oh, there's Treebeard. Hello, sir. But I also think there's a logic to it. Which is sort of, and part of the reason why I single out AI is because, there's been massive amounts of layoffs in the United States. Some of them are being attributed to gains that we're going to get from AI. I actually subscribe to some people's theories that people are just saying that because their companies might actually be in more financial tricky spots than they want to admit, and just saying that lets them get away with it. But maybe, again, I don't know anything. But as somebody who, at the time of this recording, has been laid off, not because of AI, but, I can seriously empathize with people who have been laid off, because I am one of them at the time of this recording again. At some point you can't lay everybody off. You need to, there's no point in having everybody do AI, have all the jobs taken by AI, and then you have only low-level earners left because nobody can buy your stuff. Or, sometimes you'll hear people say, well, oh, then like work. I think Musk was just saying like, oh, then work will be optional and everybody will just get money. And I'm like, that might be possible. That's some real Star Trek stuff. But what I could also see happening is then Musk arguing for a $1 trillion payday. And, so like, are we? Is that what you're actually saying? Or are you just going to take $1 trillion payday and you just be like, I don't even know what I'm doing with this at this point? Like it's at some point it seems comically stupid. So we'll see. I will say that I'm in if I had to, which way am I leaning? It's a little more pessimistic, I would say. I don't know if I'm willing to count on the goodness of the wealthy. So I was just looking at that other, the banner. Let me go back to that other banner because it's sending me over here, and maybe I just didn't quite pinpoint where. What if I do it from over here? Yeah, I was gonna say, just having trouble getting it to give me the hand you need to. This is gonna be too much to watch. Let me see if I can. There we go. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Got some irons in the fire. You know, just, you know, you got to figure it out. And I'm not despondent about being laid off, but it's a blow, and it's truly overturns your life in a lot of ways. I'm trying to do my best to minimize that vis-a-vis the family. I can't recall what the music cues were like the first time I was here, but I'm enjoying the musical ambiance now as I'm running around Isengard. That's interesting. Why are we... Bump this up. Basically, why are we freeing... I mean, not that I want the Dunlendings to suffer and, you know, just slowly die crushed under rubble, but I was just curious if there was something more to it. But, nope. Okay, so I think we've cleared this half of the... Severed hand. Let's see. The severed hand, tear down what remains of the white hand's banners. Okay, because it's sort of like a purple blob right here. So I was kind of curious if that was going to be more like searching for orcs, but what I will say, at the time of this recording, I'm recording this literally here in the States right before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the day after tomorrow. I'm recording this portion of this recording on a Tuesday. Who knows how long it'll take to put this all together. I might record the next part after Thanksgiving, but, you know, just to give you an insight, again, the sausage gets made, etc., of like how I plan some of these things out. I will say this. It's a bummer that a job that I love is changing in some capacity and not going to go forward exactly how it was. Like, I genuinely love it, but I also love Thanksgiving. Genuinely love Thanksgiving. I don't know if it's weird to say this, but it... because I'm about to caveat it, but it's my favorite holiday, especially because I don't travel much for Thanksgiving at this point. You know, family comes to us, little family might come visit. My kid home from college, everybody's together. And it's just a bit of a stretch where we're just all under one roof and we don't have anything we have to do. We can just relax, enjoy each other's company. You know, for our family, get our Christmas tree. You know, it's just a really content time of the year. And, which allows the holiday to accomplish exactly what I think is intended to do. I genuinely get thankful every Thanksgiving. Like, it really helps me sort of ground myself, put things in perspective. You know, if I have to go work a job, you know, doing fast food, like, you know, that's what I do, you know, and it's not going to be what I planned for, but I'm grateful for all the other parts of my life that have worked out better than I feel they had any right to. So, you know, they always say, like, you know, never mention luck in a room of self-made men. Like, I don't consider myself... I can admit that I did put in hard work at times, but also, man, you know, like, some people, I also had a lot of luck. And that's when I, you know, like, better than I had any right to turn out, you know, in some ways. So, just have to be thankful for what I have and keep making the most of what's coming. And honestly, like, the things that helped me feel so lucky and so thankful, you know, some of it, you know, was just me putting my nose to the grindstone and just working. And I do that with this channel, and I do that just about anything. You know, my wife and I sometimes joke, like, what I'll say is, like, I work harder, not smarter. Like, which is not how you're supposed to go, but I'm able to just bash my head against the wall on something until I crack it. Along with my head, and, yeah. Okay, we completed the severed hand, we've completed... Can we hand these in? I don't have enough room. Oh. Woof. Is there anything here I can get rid of? I mean, that's worth money, but at the same time, I don't need it. What's this? Is this old? Again, I'm throwing away money, but I just, like, okay, that's fine. So let's try that again. Oh, I see. Okay, it doesn't, I thought it would stack. It didn't. But it's also another... It's another item. I've said this before, like, all this kind of stuff, I just don't care. Traceries, again, at some point I'm going to have to get rid of these because I just don't know how to use them. I was wondering if these were, like, locked boxes. Anyway, so this is sort of like a long, mushy rambling, and I apologize. It's obviously best of times, worst of times kind of moment. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. The important thing is Lord of the Rings Online. So we opened up a bunch of those. It seemed that maybe because it can stack them. I was like, yeah, it seems like we have more room now. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I'm just opening up everything. Because again, yeah, hopefully some of it stacks. Seems to. So, good enough. Let's see what Gandalf has to say about the main quest. I am curious, the many colors of ruin. Let me... Just trying to see where that takes us. Okay, it's on the way. Staging a collapse I don't see here.
Aragorn is right to advise caution.
Saruman has suffered a defeat, it is true, but we must not be overconfident or it will be no lasting defeat. He's cunning and full of tricks, and even a cornered beast can do great harm. Indeed, that is when it is most dangerous. You tell Gandalf that Aragorn has much said the same, and the wizard smiles. Good. Seems he's learned something from me after all. But this is no time for idle talk. There's a wizard to manage now. Speak to Treebeard. I must think on our next step. The work of the Ents here is done, but Gandalf's work is only beginning. Yours too, perhaps. I do not understand this desire for... Burarum. Adventure? Do you not enjoy standing in a green field with the sunlight on your face? Do you not enjoy drinking deeply of cold mountain waters? Treebeard rumbles for a moment. It's no matter. The waters will cleanse this place, but some orcs may still linger. Search the surface and see what you can find. Gandalf tells me a friend of yours was imprisoned here. I hope you find some signs of him. We Ents allowed a number of Dunlendings to leave in peace, but saw no other friendly folk. Okay. You know, I messed around a little with, I don't know. I can never remember what I say when, but I messed around a little bit with New World Aeternum now that it's going dark, and it was really fun. And I loved. An Ent lies here, his skin burned and scorched.
Do you think Saruman understands what he has taken from this world?
The sight fills me with sorrow. Do you think Saruman understands what he's taken from this world? He must not. How could he? Calenglad looks around at the still waters. I heard Gandalf say the Ents are slow to be roused, but when they are, there is little that can stand before them. I see it as true, but my heart goes out to this one, who will not return from this ring of stone. And I really liked it. Like, you know, it was one of those things, you know, I talk a lot about, you know, here with, like, you know, the setting is so compelling. And New World Aeternum, like, you know, you get into the setting and you're like, oh, okay, you know. I going into it, I didn't know specifics. I knew, but all of a sudden, like, you know, you're like a ship from the Netherlands, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is like somewhat grounded. Trying to figure out, I need to get around to the other side, and I feel like I'm gonna have to hook. Can I hook to the north? Go around behind it. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so this is actually grounded. It's not just like an adjacent but fantasy world. I mean, it sort of ends up being that kind of island where you land, but, you know, it's literally like, you know, you're sort of on the ships discovering the new world kind of thing, and you, you know, you come to this area, and it's got its own things going on, but the own things going on are based in Arthurian legend. Nearby orc coughs up blood and snarls weakly at you.
My time is through.
You,
Curse the trees.
you filth. Come to finish the job? My time is through. Curse the trees. The orc coughs again, and a deathly rattle passes his lips. He'll not last long. Despite the pain he feels, the orc musters enough strength to laugh coarsely. You think only my kind perished when the flood came? There were prisoners in the pits, and now they're drowned rats. Their lives are on your conscience, wretched man. Fair point. But yeah, like, you know, again, I don't know if but all of a sudden it's like, you know, sort of grounded on real world Earth, obviously a fantasy version of it. You know, like Tainted Grail has some grounding in Arthurian legend, but it goes more into its own fantasy world. This is like literally like an Age of Exploration kind of setting, tied in with like darker take on Arthurian legend. And I was like, this is a really interesting idea. This must have been the site of a great battle, for many corpses float in the water. Almost every bone in this orc's body seems to be broken. What could have done this? Okay, let's talk to... Back to, Gandalf. Anyway, I do hope to spend more time with it. And it's a breeze to play. The action combat is really nicely done from my experience so far. I think it's only going to be up for, again, at the time it's recording, it's right before Thanksgiving. I heard like May of 2026, so it's not long for this world in its current form, if that date is accurate. I don't honestly know. But it's a shame. I would like for it to just stay out there for people to keep discovering, even if they don't keep adding more content. Because it's a really nicely done game. But it's still not enough to pull me away from what's going on here in Middle-earth. Like, I've been doing like a Dark Souls 3. It's supposed to be a synergy run with Simbram, but we had to put that on pause, as I mentioned. And like, you know, something that comes up when we discuss this channel is, you know, all of us like looking past what we're currently doing to what's coming next, and sort of that anticipation that, you know, what's the next hotness kind of thing. And I'm already thinking about that, like what comes after Dark Souls 3. But this one, yeah, I'm not going like, ugh.
I do not doubt that the orc believed these words, but I do not.
But I still hooked here. I guess it also helps that there is nothing that... I'm not going to then say, like, you know, my next run is going to be World of Warcraft. Like, I'm not doing this again with any other MMO. This is the one that means the most to me and gets this attention. Gandalf listens to your account closely, especially the last words of the dying orc. It is said that the last words spoken by the dying are the truest you will ever hear, and I do not doubt that this orc believed them, but I do not.
An orc gains nothing by being truthful to us,
but may derive satisfaction by bringing us sorrow. I believe Lothrandir survives, but if he is not brought into the light soon, it may become too late to save him. North of the tower, you will find an entrance to depths below Isengard. Search the watery deeps for some news of Saruman's captive. He may yet live if we hurry. All right.
I hope you have enough time to listen.
Treebeard seems to give it some thought. The young hobbits told you of the moot, but did not tell you of our arrival here. Do you wish to hear that tale? Yeah. We're here for the story. Let's take the time to do it. Again, gotta get the, get the commands to type in.
We marched to war, to Isengard.
Yeah, again, I was just like, wait, what are all these quests? Because they bumped us up to level 95. I'm just going to ignore it. Like, it bothers me that it's there, but I'm just going to ignore it. That was a rousing march, Treebeard. We have come to the ring of Isengard sooner than I thought we would, and our business with the wizard waits before us. Quickbeam peers at the hobbits clinging to your upper branches. Hold on, little ones. Keep a good grip and do not fall. This way, we will smash the wizard's walls. This was a moment in the movies that I wished, in the extended edition at least, played out a little differently. Not differently, longer. Because you get this swooping wah, 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 and the Ents start marching. And then, like, they smash a couple things, but I somehow I wished, I don't know. it was given more time to play out. And I think it could have felt bigger, and it was a moment that I think didn't get as much attention because there was just so much going on in that movie. At least maybe I'm remembering the theatrical release, and then that was my first impression of it. Yeah, maybe it's been a while since I've seen the extended editions, and maybe they fixed that. Saruman's army has departed, but some orcs remain. Five orcs run low. Bring it down. There we go. And the way, like when they bring down the thing, and the flood starts, like the little touches where like, all the Ents, this is again in the movies, all the Ents sort of lean into the water coming at them just to brace against, just nice little touches. This reminded me, it's been a long time since I've seen those movies. If I had like just 12 hours sitting around, like I might just do a solo rewatch. I think my daughter would be up for it. My son's at school. My wife would not. And to her credit, I think she'd be the first to admit, like, yeah, no, they were solid movies for somebody who does not care about any of that kind of stuff. I think she can appreciate, like, yeah, no, they were really well done and enjoyable, but she's not looking for going on that ride again. Now, Patrick on the channel, I think he says they do like a family rewatch every holiday. Because I was surprised, because, look, I've done the One Ring 2nd edition solo play, and I'm always like, yeah, I don't know, would I subject anybody to that? Here on the channel? And Patrick's like, oh, I'd be down. And I was like, oh. I'm realizing now. So I was setting up, this is an OBS thing, I was setting up some stuff. Because I wanted to, dive back into Bring It Down. I wanted to dive back into Little Darklands. And, maybe I record it, maybe I don't, but I wanted to be ready to go if I did, and I tweaked some things in OBS. And I forgot to tweak them back. It's not the end of the world, but it makes you realize, like, the importance of, like, it's not just organizing scenes. You kind of want to do a profile as part of your organizational structure in OBS, I think. Look, the gate cannot stand against the might of the Ents. I will gather the rest of our people, Fangorn, while you press forward through the main gate into Isengard. I will meet up with you beyond the gate.
Boom, boom. The gate of Isengard could not hold us back. We were positively hasty.
All right, pass through the ruined gates of Isengard and defeat Saruman's forces. Again, like little writing things, like, you know, when it's like, you know, we finally have destroyed the gate. Meet me on the other side of the gate. I feel like you gotta just tweak the language a little bit. You know, I'll meet you on the far side. You don't need to say if you find yourself like I feel like you have to.
Saruman had weapons of his own.
Just take a little bit of that care. Just be like, yeah, we're not gonna repeat that word at the end of 2 sentences in a row. You know, and it doesn't matter, but it's just yeah.
Saruman fought with smoke and fire. We paid him back with water.
Survey your handiwork and greet the newcomer. Ooh. Can we step on him? I know we can't. Canon-wise, but... What has happened here? You have worked some mischief. The little man's eyes dart left and right, taking in as much of the devastation as he can. What has happened to Saruman? I bore messages for him from the king, but it seems they are no longer necessary. He turns to go, but you stop him. It's plain he served the wizard and was complicit in his designs. They deserve each other's company. But I cannot swim. Oh, it's cold.
I set a watch upon the tower. Saruman will work no further harm.
All right. We are back.
That is the tale, little one.
That is the tale, little one. I have not seen Saruman since Grima Wormtongue came to this tower. His schemes may be at an end, but the water seems to have dampened his spirits. Oh, that's very good. Oh, he's tickling himself here. Dampened his spirits. I've enjoyed telling you this tale, little man. I hope you will remember the Ents. It seems to me that Saruman wishes he remembered us sooner. I'm glad he did not. There we go. Yeah, so I was setting up Darklands, a new template. Search the Orthanc doorways for the orcs. Now that's right here. Let me just... yeah, anyway. Because, yeah, we're doing everything for 4K, and the gates of Orthanc stand shut and impenetrable. So I wanted to update my old template to make it a little more 4K friendly. And, yeah, so I was working on that and got it all set up, and I'm ready to go. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to start over, but if you remember any of my Let's Play of it, I did hit a wall. And the nice thing about Darklands is what I can do is I can sort of... And my party's starting to get old, and I don't even know if that matters too much once you get out into the world, or if it's more just the life path character creation where age plays a more important role. But regardless, what I'm going to try doing is I'm going to, you know, swap in hot young talent. Hopefully the party reputation I've built up stays in place, as does like all the equipment and money that I've pooled, so that like I'm gonna have to like beef up my stats, but hopefully I'm a little more efficient in how I build my characters, and then it's just a matter of like, hey, there are certain things I need to do, and some of those things are I need to find the formula for certain alchemical potion. Like there's just certain things that have to be done, and I'll just, you know, take it as I come and just go explore a little bit.
If Lotharindir is down here, we will find him.
This pit has seen better days, but it'll see worse still if our friend has come to harm. What few of Saruman's lackeys still lurk in the depths no longer carry out his will. They seem to be busy scavenging for treasure and fighting among themselves for it. Many doors remain locked to us, and it could be one of those scavengers has picked up the key to whatever cell holds our friend. I will keep searching, as will others of the company, and you should do the same. Defeat these scavengers and see what you can find. Defeat surly scavengers. There we go, right there. Oh, okay, 12,000. I was just like, are these guys... Okay, I did get the interrupt off. That's good. Are they signature? Yes. Now, again, like I'm saying, like, ooh, man, this is keep me down for a little while. You know, I record these in weird intervals. Like, this is gonna go up months after I actually record it. So in theory, I should know how things are going with all the whining I was doing earlier, but, yeah, so hopefully by the time this goes up, there's been some, because I'm just gonna jam that up. It's not gonna be like on the schedule. I'm just gonna, it was funny because, like, you know, like I said, I've been doing a ton of stuff to, you know, roll with getting laid off. But there's also a part of me is like, you know what I want to do? I want to do like a I'm fucking unemployed stream. You know, just like, I'm going to do like 4 or 5 hours of like, just going to play some Darklands. Nobody's going to care. But just, you know, however that works, you know, that's, yeah. Make the most of it where I can. Maybe just bang out like Dark Souls 3, so even if it doesn't go up on the channel for a while, at least I finished it and I can think about other games. This is a real fight here. I'm gonna do restorative shield work since I'm down, and that only takes 1:30 to I should have done that early. So yeah, again, here, this is one of the first times I'm really noticing, like, power being a problem. I'm having to pop off everything just to get... Figured since I had him in such a deficit, I could afford to focus on getting some bleeds before I go back to healing. But yeah, I'm gonna have to eat this one because I don't have the... There, okay, that wasn't too long. Wow. All right, let's recover for that. The other thing I need to do, I need to, I talk a lot about mics on this channel, and downstairs in my basement setup, where I've done like the overhead view of like RPG book reviews and stuff. I have an SE8 small dynamic condenser. And one thing I've heard is that they're relatively quiet for a small dynamic condenser, but then I also, and again, this is all internet conspiracy theories, I've also heard that they're not always consistent in how noisy they are as microphones, and I think I'm starting to notice that. I don't know if it's just my environment somehow in the basement is noisier. I don't think it is, but I feel like I get more self-noise from the microphone when I'm using it, so I might do a little test where I use my T1 down in the basement. That's a really quiet mic. And do like some test recordings down there and see how it goes. And then yeah, because like I only need like, and then upstairs I have a Dynacaster, which I've been really enjoying. It. I'm torn between the sound differences between it and the T1. Sometimes I'm like, they're barely different. If you wonder why I'm killing time, I'm waiting for this Never Surrender to cool off a little bit more before I jump into the next Surly of Scavenger. But other times I'm like, yeah, no, but obviously a large condenser is going to just feel more natural. But I think I would rather have the large condenser, the more sensitive microphone downstairs in the basement, so I don't have to be right on top of it as much. I can have it a little bit away from my mouth more, which I know is going to introduce potential noise, but so it's not right in my face when I'm trying to manipulate whatever's right in front of me. So, but I think I'm gonna do a test down there and see what happens. How are we doing? I feel like I can, if it's gonna take like a 3-minute fight, I can probably get this down, and if I can just last until it. Let's try an ambush, at least give us a moment to set some bleeds up without getting hit. Now the other thing is I went really hard on healing, so it really dragged the fight out. I clear his status effects. Now I'm gonna shoot. I was gonna pop restorative shield work. But yeah, so it's the fight's not lasting nearly as long, and that might be the way to go. So I'm looking at, one of the guys on the Discord, we're talking about, because I talk about a lot of bullshit. In one of the streams I talked about, 4K monitors, and he just posted a picture. I shouldn't assume. They posted a picture of their setup, and like I might die here. Let me pop a beverage. I was about to say, I was holding off on the strength of morale. I should have done it. But yeah, and on the gaming screen in the picture is Skyrim, and that's when I was like, ooh, should that be like that would just be on some levels. I mean, I have Tainted Grail, and the whole reason why I wasn't recording every moment of that is because I'm like, there's no reason to, and I probably should go back to that, because I'm really enjoying that. But I'm always tempted, like Skyrim. There's something about it. It's the one that got away. If that makes sense. Because I've never, like, I've spent so much time with it and I've enjoyed the time with it, but, yeah. So sometimes I'm like, oh, and you know, like, what I would have to do is I'd have to, like, you know, at some point, like, with this, you have to just sort of focus. And honestly, that's fine. Like, it's not a, you know, not all of it is that interesting on some level. And so let's get those bleeds up. Keep those. Man, strong opening by this surly scavenger. As soon as I clear one status effect, there's another. Let me put restorative shield work on. Wow. Get some defense going. Get some healing going. And let's go back to just pure damage. So again, we're at 12,000. They're at 3. And let's see how quickly I get whittled down, because that's what surprised me last time. I was like, oh, I've got a deficit on their end. I can focus on damage over time. And next thing I know, I turned around and I was like nearly dead. Like right there. Focus that. Yeah, like we're right now back and he's got like status effects on me, they're gonna kill me. And I've got my gambit screwed up because I wasn't paying attention. I'm just trying to outlast them with my healing. I feel like I'm barely doing any damage. That's the first problem. Holy shit. Whoa. Like all of a sudden I got stunned with like a 2,700 point damage. Completely eliminated the deficit I had built up on their part, and then couldn't respond in time. You know, I was saying a little while ago, I'm kind of enjoying the music, and now that I'm seeing the guy playing Skyrim on his machine, that might be what I'm enjoying about this. It's got a very Skyrim feel to it. And Skyrim truly has beautiful music. Yeah, I'm just sort of letting things chill for a bit. Man, I was not expecting. Now, again, granted, I might. Is this? I can't tell if this is upping the difficulty, right? Now, a couple things though. They get plus 10% melee damage. Is that because of my upping the difficulty, or is it just because they are here, like their home field advantage? You know what I mean? And maybe, you know, I should be looking to do, like, there's damage over time with, wow, for light damage, and maybe that would be more effective given who I'm fighting, instead of building up the bleeds. Fuck that up. Okay, let's get restorative shield work going. Again, I'm just trying to put this guy down as fast as possible. Got screwed up. And that's the thing, you can't afford to make any mistakes, right? I'm gonna go down again. Shit. And timing there got off. I don't know. Got nothing left. Man. Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, there's something over here. Many colors of ruin. But I'm not close enough to level 92 to have one quest make a difference. So I know I'm starting to get into, like, you know, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, but let me see what I've got here. What's this? Let's try that. Now let's do an ambush. That means I go straight in and I fuck it up. Perfect. Gee, zoo. That was a terrible opening. It's like, could not have gone worse. Just tactically the dumbest thing in the world. Gonna open up some restorative shield work so at least it's back when I need it. Again, my gambit's in the wrong order. That's okay, because at least it was towards a healing. There's a way to do ones that, like, focus on light. lot of things going wrong. Did that not fire? God, recovery did not fire off. Because I don't know why. I clicked it. That one was not my fault. That one was not my fault. Yeah, let me see. Is it my characters that under skills? Just want to get an idea of like some gambits here. I don't need the ranged ones. I need the regular ones. And I thought, like, what's Fierce Resolve? So that's the one. Okay, so that's the chain that heals you, drains for them. Yeah. Okay, so it's a Fist Shield. Okay, so it's like Fist Shield, Fist, kind of. Okay. Let's give that a shot. Looks like I'm good to go. Let's do a Fist Shield, Fist Shield. Let's try Fists. And then we're gonna open up some whoop ass on an ambush. We're gonna charge in. Get rid of these. So we should be doing some light damage over time. Oh, God damn it, man. This is like the worst opening. Let's mitigate some damage with that. Let's see if we can interrupt him at least. Holy shit, let's get some restorative shield work going. Get some light damage, maybe. Okay, that time, I think what happened, the reason why I didn't fire it off last time is maybe the time had run out for when you could hit like the low point of your health and have it trigger. Maybe that was it. Pop a drink. Again, I'm like doing no damage to this guy. That's part of the problem. And I'm gonna die again because I got nothing. Okay, so a couple things we need to do. First, we need to retreat. Second, we need to go repair all of our shit. And three, I might take it off of like the added difficulty. I don't know if that's part of why this is happening. The reason why I was doing the added difficulty was to get an XP bonus because I wasn't potentially doing enough quests on the side, but I've been doing a lot of quests on the side, and yeah, I'm just not sure what I'm doing. Man, I gotta tell you, seeing that setup on the Discord with Skyrim on there makes me really want that to be what comes after Dark Souls. Now with Dark Souls 3, again at the time it's recording, it's not what's up on the channel, but I've basically got the DLC left. And the optional Storm Ruler. I've done the rest of the area, but I haven't actually beaten Storm Ruler, and I don't know if I will, because I genuinely don't like that fight, and I'm a big bitch, and it's optional. But yeah, but I was sort of starting to focus on the Ashes of the Arendelle Painted World DLC, and then after that, there's the Ring City. So I'm not that far from being, in theory, done. And then when I was playing Tainted Grail, I really like what I've seen of that, and there's a lot of things they do in that game that is better than Skyrim, but it's still not Skyrim. I don't know if that makes sense. There's something intrinsic to Skyrim that just, I don't know what to say. There's something about it that captures my mind in ways that no other game has.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
We can swift travel to Helm's Deep or Altberg. I'm kind of curious what this is. This guy, because at some point these people are saying, hey, you need to go talk to Gandalf.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
To the Stone Deans. Find Otzer in the Stone Deans. Okay, I mean, so again, this is the quest that sort of sends you around the horn, which I always appreciate. Oh, seeing other players is nice. Level 91 Champion. Again, kudos on that accomplishment. Champion is a class, I mean, you've seen how terrible I am. Was a class I could not crack. So this is interesting. Like, in the past, this was one of the areas I was getting absolutely terrible frame rates. Now it's not the worst. Same champion. No, level 88 Hunter. Nice. Again, love seeing other players. Love seeing life in this game. I don't know if there's somebody in here that I'm looking for, like a provisioner, and I don't know if... But you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, not that I'm getting amazing frame rates here, but I was getting like in the 40s. And I was like a bit taken aback by that. Now at least it's over 60. All I ask is, and I've said this before, I just want it to be over 60. And, but I say that now, like, having gone through a couple of Windows reinstalls, like something was weird with my machine before. That seems to be on the mend.
These lands are not to be traveled lightly.
So maybe I did figure something out. And by figure something out, I mean I just nuked it from orbit because it was the only way to be sure, and I have no idea what actually fixed anything. So, but I do seem to be getting slightly better frame rates at the moment. Man, I should just be, God, just getting rid of all these. I don't even know what they do. Tracy reclamations, all this stuff, I just don't know what it does, and I feel like it's eating up most of my inventory, and I don't know, and I hold on to them because I don't know what to do, but I really need to just let them go if I'm not going to take advantage of them. Or I should Google how to do it. But that day is not today. So when they're sending me around the horn to... Okay, now I'm dipping back into the 60s, so all's well. Just want to make sure, did I set up all of my business? Advanced graphics, ultra high, very high. Ultra high, very high. Again, you know, like running it 4K, everything maxed. Blur filter. Okay, I don't like motion blur, but I don't know if that's quite what that's describing. Okay, I think it's good enough. Just curious where they were trying to send me for the Stone Deans. Have I been here?
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
So yeah, the question is, how do I get to the Stone Dean? So let's figure that out real quick. I'm just kind of curious. So here we are in Altberg. Beacon Hill is not the right way. Homestead's definitely not where we want to go. Kingstead. So it's Kingstead. Can we get to Middlemead or Edoras? Let's start by doing that. Can we get to Edoras?
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
I'm just curious. I just want to, see what's over there. Unlock the swift travel if need be. Honestly, I could probably use a level, but I don't know. And again, I could just click the little icon here, but I don't want to do that if I haven't been there before. Okay, so let's see now. This feels a little familiar, though. Like Gapholt sounds familiar.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
Now, Middlemead, I think, is one place we were thinking we could go. So let's swift travel. I feel like I've made the run to this area before, but I'm curious why I didn't have this to the Stone Dean's quest. I feel like a leader's son was in that middle thing, and the Gapholt is where I was sort of approaching Helm's Deep when my frame rate went to 1 frame every 5 seconds and crapped the bed. So I feel...
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
But at the same time, yeah, Entwood, I feel like, yeah, but again, I don't have any options to fast travel to Woodhurst. That's right there. I'm not sure what I missed. I was so heartbroken when my first trip to Helm's Deep on this character was mired in technical difficulties. I was really... And that's when I started getting into this thing where, like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I need to figure it out now. And if that means, if it's the hardware, I need to know. And of course now, like, I've been laid off, like, I could be, if I'm editing remotely, this is my edit machine. Like, I can't, whatever it is has to stop immediately. I didn't mean for me to stop immediately. Just the technical issues had to stop immediately. So, I don't know. And so far, so good. I've got a GeForce 4080. It's not a 4K machine, 4K card, but it's not play everything. Like, I'm not going to just jump into Cyberpunk 2077 and be like, no DLSS, 4K, max graphics. I would never do... I don't do ray tracing. I just don't care. So I think that's the one thing that helps give me a little longevity with this card. I don't mind using DLSS to get 4K stable frame rates. Yeah, and I thought this was going to be familiar, but I just don't know. I mean, yeah, I've unlocked the stable, so I don't know why.
I'm afraid of what is happening to these lands.
Now, Gapholt, I don't know if I ever made my way over there. But yeah, this is starting to look very familiar. And now it was like, yeah, maybe I should make sure I'm still getting a lock 60 on my recording. I am. And I don't mean to sound bitter. Like, the things that our machines can do these days are, you know, truly amazing compared to what, you know, I grew up with as a kid. But we get spoiled in our new expectations. Ooh, level 128 Lore Master. Very nice, sir.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
You know what? Yeah, so I've definitely been here. Let's go to Gapholt. You know, I never got there. Let's just check that box off. Oh, wait. But, no, before I do that, let me, at least get the XP for this quest. I'm right here. Yeah, I remember that guy getting splashed with a bucket like he's a drunk, needing to sober up immediately. Then there was, like, the resistance in that farm. So it's internal yeah, so this, I really enjoyed this part of the story, but yeah, obviously I've definitely been here. So, like, sometimes I don't think the added difficulty applies to certain types of enemies and certain types of quests, so I'm not sure if lowering the world difficulty is going to actually impact the fight in that place at all, but could be worth trying.
Do not know if we will survive this onslaught.
Okay, I did do a bunch of... Okay, so I did a lot of those quests, so there's nothing new. So that's good. Check that box. I'm gonna, as the crow flies south of town, shave off a little bit of time. So one of the things I can do, so what I might do is let me check this out. I should probably set up my milestone to be outside of Isengard. So I can just fast travel back. Then I can beeline to Bree, go to the Prancing Pony Inn, lower the world difficulty as an experiment. And then go from there. But I am grateful that reinstalling Windows seems to solve the problem, like, because I, you know, again, I don't know if I'm in a financial position to start, like, dumping money on hardware. And Lord of the Rings does not run on, like, a Mac. If I needed to get a pure working machine, Apple-based, I couldn't then just apply that to my Lord of the Rings run and kill two birds with one stone, so... yeah, but, because I was really skeptical, like, the only two times I've really had significant what the hell is going on experiences with my machine is when I had AMD CPUs. And this is, I've got a 9950X. It's a real workhorse for, like, you know, video editing and stuff like that, you know, and there's no reason why it shouldn't kick butt. So I'm glad at least it's working out, but I can tell you...
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
There we go. And I've mentioned this probably on other streams. The instant I installed AMD Adrenalin on my new Windows install, everything went to shit. It was so bad, to the point where I'm like, I could got into safe mode and uninstall it, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to reinstall Windows all over again. Because this went to shit so hard. So hard. Moments after installing it that I don't want any scrap of any of this bullshit anywhere on my system. And, that's tricky because AMD Adrenalin is how they do their chipset updates. It just, I couldn't believe how hard it all went south. And I don't know if it's because I got a NVIDIA graphics card as well, but it was alarming. Like, it installed, it might have had to restart, or even if it didn't restart, whatever it did, once it was done, my monitors immediately stopped functioning. I couldn't use my computer. I had to, yeah, like I said, get into a safe mode just to get rid of it. It was so bad, so fast. Yeah, so bad. Okay, so we need to get back to Isengard. Let's start figuring that out. So that doesn't give me, you know, peace of mind in my AMD CPU purchase, even though now it seems to be good to go. It just makes me like, what the hell happened? What's going on? Is it the motherboard chipsets? Is it's somehow, what is it tied to this AMD environment that just made it fall apart?
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
Okay, we're gonna go to Brockbridge, and then we're gonna get back to where we were, some swift travel. Anyway, so then, you know, I start, like, when I was in the mode, like, if something's truly screwed, and I can't trust any of this, do I go back to the Intel, the newest 295s, which, you know, have drawbacks, but,
what is happening to these lands?
I can't get back to Middlemead? But they have some advantages as well. And again, like I had for the longest time an Intel 1270 CPU. You know, 7th gen maybe, I forget what it was, but the thing was a champ. And I probably could still be using it at this point, to be honest with you. That thing was an absolute champ. So...
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
Now, Aldburg can get us to... I think this can get us back to Isengard, so let's take that. Anyway, yeah, that 12,700 was absolute beast. And I know AMD CPUs, the current ones, are on some ways better than the Intel current gen, but woof.
I do not know if we will survive this onslaught.
They're not that different. And nothing beats stability. Alright, so we're back here at home base. Let me set up the milestone. Let's go check on Bree. Honestly, it'd be nice to get back to Bree. We haven't been there in a while. You know, even here we're getting above 60 frames per second. Man, I love... Oh, man, like, look at... I love this. There's so many players. Low level. I hope some of them are experiencing this game for the first time. I imagine a lot of them are just alts. But, I love to see it. And there's, you know, and I've said it a million times, there's something so magical about the original base game here, which is the first 50 levels, Shadows of Angmar. Just such good stuff. And we're going to go to normal.
Would you do something for me?
I don't have anything to prove. Nope, didn't mean to travel to my personal house, but we're going there anyway. That's the one I actually want. I mean, I probably could have dumped some stuff here, but whatever. Oh, shit. Did I not do this? Shit, I didn't do it. You gotta talk to him twice. Fantastic. And I can't use this for another hour.
I do not know if we will survive.
Let's get to Helm's Deep.
Onslaught.
I can't believe I just screwed that up. Level 95 Runekeeper, very nice. Let's see where we can get to from
These are
here.
desperate times for the Rohirrim.
We can get to Moria. That's a hub.
These halls will be great once more.
The shadow of Mordor will not long fill the halls of Khazad-dûm.
Still don't quite get the two stable masters. This guy seems to only be Moria.
The time has come to drive forth.
And then this one seems to be later levels. But I don't know why. But I thought you could get to... Let's muster in Rivendell. Yeah, we want to go the other way, but I feel like we could use the one to our right to get to the one to the left. I'm curious because there is a warden trainer here, and I'm also getting a quest. I don't know if they're related. They don't seem to be. Must be that Chronicle of Events. All right. But yeah, so like when I, when I was trying to fix all that computer stuff, like one of the things I was like, okay, let me get into my BIOS. I'm going to be doing safe boot, blah, blah, blah. Like I had set my RAM speed correctly one point, but when I went in, like the RAM speed was set back to like super slow. So it was just like, what are we doing? Why is this a quest?
Might you spare a moment of your time?
Oh, the Etten Moor is where you do the PvP. I don't care about that.
What can I do for you?
North Downs. I want to get to... Like, the Lone Land starts to get me there. Southbury. There we go. So, no idea why that was a problem. So I reset. So part of it was like my RAM was running at 4,000 something instead of 6,400. But I also know that running RAM at normal speeds on AMD boards can be a bit messy. Just so much garbage. I can only use 2 sticks. I used to have 4 sticks to get up to 128 gig of RAM. Couldn't do it. I had to downsize to 2 sticks. 48 gig each. Shouldn't have to do that. It's just a lot of messy bullshit. And at the same time, like I find this stuff interesting and fascinating, but I don't like endlessly troubleshooting it. Like I want to understand how the stuff works. I just don't want to spend all my time having videos come out wrong.
Could I speak with you a moment?
I don't know if I have any of those.
Greetings.
That's fine. I'm assuming when you got a level 25 minstrel and you got kitted out like that, this must be like an alt. Saw a video. I'm never going to be able to find the link, so I usually try and link to the stuff that I talk about, but I know that I'm probably not going to be able to find it. But somebody rebuilt. Man, did Aubrey the Weird One mention it? Is that where I heard about it? Somebody rebuilt Bree in level 150 champion. Nicely done. Level 6 Warden. Oh. Beginnings of the journey. Somebody rebuilt Bree here in Lord of the Rings in Unreal 5. It was impressive. It was really impressive. Go to the Shire, Lonelands, Westfold, Trollshaws. Dwarfhold's not familiar with that. Stronghold to the north, more. All these places I assume are on my horizon. Eastfold is getting us out there. West, no, that's Bree. Croftlands is getting us out there as well, but let's get Aldburg. That'll get us definitely right there. Okay, so this hasn't been too bad. But it is a bit of a sideshow, and I apologize for that.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
How did I get to Isengard? There we go. Okay, so let's give this another shot. Oh, nice. Again, lots of new lots of other players. 101 champion, very nice. 19th. Well, they're 10 levels higher, so I'd say. Much higher morale. So we're gonna try this again. I mean, not that I've done anything different per se, but it looks like I might need to heals 1800. Let's drop that in. Not sure why it was gone. So the weird thing is, I think I've encountered this before. Like once you use one healing poultice, you can't then use a different healing poultice. Like even if they're like two technically different class of items, one does more than the other. So, we'll see how it goes. We've got the difficulty turned down. Muster in the 21st Hall doesn't need to be there. Muster in Merkeaves. I was about to say, I felt like I could muster... let me rephrase that. I felt like I should have been able to muster in more places than I have listed up here. I remember this being like one of the cool things about the Wardens is like, yeah, you know, maybe it's not quite hunter level of bounce around the world, but it's not bad. Okay, so let's see how this goes. They still have... Can't tell, like, that I assume is giving them the other two bonuses. I can't tell. I just can't tell. So let's see what we got. We got Defiant Challenge, no. Battle Memory. I want the one that lets me build one up first. Battle Prep. We're gonna build 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. We're gonna ambush. We're gonna try not to mess this up too badly. Or, nope, come on. Can't give me lag. I can't do this and deal with lag. I'm getting lag. There, man. Okay, I'm gonna start restorative shield work. been decent about interrupting, but just not catching breaks on the Okay, so to answer the question, like, did the world difficulty impact? Absolutely. Absolutely. That was not the same fight that I was experiencing a few minutes ago. And I know, like, don't be bitch, but at the same time, like, I'm gonna build that one up, and then I'm gonna ambush. You know, like this isn't meant to be like a Souls boss. I didn't get that one in. Gambits all over the place, so let's fix that. So now we've got the 3 bleeds. We've got 4 stacked damage over times now. 5. 6. That's gotta be pretty good, right? But yeah, I feel like I'm not taking nearly, well, I'm not taking as much damage. It's not becoming like a total knife fight right down to the wire. I'm not having to pull out every single trick just to keep my morale from dropping to 0, which I was failing at completely. So, okay, so that's good. And like I said, like the XP bonus, losing that's going to be a little painful, I think, for daily moment-to-moment stuff, because I'm, again, not doing a ton of questing. Well, that's not true. I am doing a ton of questing, so I don't think I need this one. Remove that from the tracker. But, like I said, I'll probably up it again at some point, but I'm not, I want this to be a bit more chill, and I just want to, I don't know if I want to, like, cruise through, but I want to, just enjoy the story. Getting some lag again. Also, if I'm experiencing lag, like, I have no guilt dropping down the E's, because, that's a little out of my control. I'm gonna have to take this one. I'm gonna do the shield. It is interesting, though, that, like, other stuff, I don't want to say, like, I'm breezing through it, but, it's not the end of the world fighting a signature. And then all of a sudden I got here, and these guys, one-on-one, I could not handle. Again, a lot of lag. Ooh, I don't think I interrupted that one. Crap. All right, here we go. Key drops from the scavenger's hand. Could Gullidir have been right? So did I not need to... Okay. I want to say I thought I had at least one more I had to kill. I thought it told me 6.
You found the key. I have found half a dozen already.
Very good, very good. It is possible to open the way to Lothrandir. I found half a dozen keys already and matching doors for half of those, but still no signs of my kinsman. Still, one of these may prove to be the one. Again, what I was saying earlier, like, just taking that extra moment to go through the text and not repeat words so close, but still no one sign of my kinsman, still one of these, just tweak it out a little.
To the surface and find Halbarad.
I've exhausted most of the locked doors here in the depths. Return to the surface and find Halbarad. There are some buildings in the wall which he has not yet gained entry, and these keys may unlock some of those. Before I left him, he said he was planning to search the buildings northwest of the tower. That's where you should seek him out. So it says search the depths for orcs. I guess was what I just did not... The entrance to the depths of Isengard can be found through the door north of Orthanc. So that's where I just was, obviously. Now what's this? So I still haven't done that. That's a... Story Tales of Helm's Deep. Or is that like the repeatable one if you want to do it the other way? I'll need to check on that. So before I go, let me take a look here. Let me see if I can sneak over there. And get the Many Colors of Ruin done. putting up some defensive things, see if it helps at all. Mistimed that gambit. Let's see if we can do it correctly this time. Get this going. Got a lot of buffs going on. What do we got here? Do they have double 10% melee? Is that something that's going on? Is that something I should have been paying more attention to, and that's part of why I was getting wrecked? Flooding depths shelter a few wounded orc, but little else.
You are far from home.
Okay, so there's one more thing he has to ask me before they journey forth.
You should not be giving your right name away like so.
Okay, long ago when Saruman and his orcs first sought to cut into the forest, 3 of my Rowan friends bore the brunt of that choice. The orcs felled them all and left only the faintest debris in their wakes. If Saruman is to be punished for his misdeeds, I would ask that you seek what remains of my friends. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Sorry, just checking in on a few things. Not 100% unemployed quite yet, so I was just following up on some stuff, but it's a nice touch, like the idea that, you know, they may be gone, but if they dropped a seed that could... Alright, that's 2 now. The last one, woo. Smack dab in the middle of the encampment down here. I wonder what shape it's in after the battle. Like, is it still functional? Am I still gonna have to fight my way in? Or is it... okay. I don't know if I traveled in here when it was still... Ooh. All right, let's get the horse back. Didn't think that water would be that deep. Yeah, no, at the time of this recording, I think I said this a little while. Like, I haven't played Lord of the Rings in a little while. I was doing a couple of Dark Souls 3 recordings in a row because once you sort of get into the groove of that, I don't want to lose it because, you know, it's a challenging game skill-wise, but it's time to spend some time with Lord of the Rings, and I'm sort of down to recording. So, like, the way I do the scheduling is, like, one on, one off in terms of Lord of the Rings and then Dark Souls 3. And I've got Dark Souls 3 lined up for a couple, but I don't have the alternating Lord of the Rings ready to go, so it's going to be nice because I hope to be able to chill out with this game for a while. I'm kind of curious where that goes. I was looking at the map to the Stone Deans. Oh, is there a passage through the... Oh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, it's just nice because I'm looking at it like, you know, if I stick to my recording schedule, I'm going to need to do a couple of books of this in a row, and that's going to be fun.
Stand now and rest a while.
Perhaps not is all lost. With these seeds, new life can spring forth in the valley. 2 of these seeds shall remain in my keeping, little one, and I shall return to the forest. As for Lasamista's seed, plant it at the base of Orthanc, and let us see what the tree killer thinks of that. Tarum. Saruman shall rot in his tower as the forest bursts forth around him. Now, we know canonically that is not what happens, but again, I like what that's trying to do. But yeah, you know, all the things I was talking about, like, oh, I want to try this, do an experiment with that, stream this, get back into... Like, I want to make sure that I also don't... This isn't, like, paid time off. I'm not on vacation. I need to really hustle. But I feel like, you know, you hustle, you spend time each day banging out the checklist, check here, check there. Did you go through these job sites? Send in the resumes, the applications, talk to people, you know, make all the connections, do whatever. And then once you sort of cycle through that checklist, you know, I feel like you can't spend every minute. What I'll do is I'll spend every minute obsessing and panicking to the point where I have like tightness in my chest and stuff like that. So, you know, I have to like understand like I'm, you know, I have to always be making forward progress. I have to do everything I can to be doing everything I can, and then, you know, you have to be able to sit with it on some level, which I think it might be one of the hardest things, at least for me. Like I said, like, I don't mind, like, banging my head against the wall, and so, like, if I'm sitting there going, like, damn it, am I done banging my head into the wall for the day? Like, can I find something else to bang my head in? No. Like, I get a little weird like that. Like, surely I can find something else to bang my head against the wall for. There we go. It's a little cheap. I'm gonna teleport. Oh. Oh, this isn't even close. Okay, to the Stone Deans. Is this the Entwood? Like, where am I? This is the Entwood. Okay. Level 130 Guardian. That's very cool.
You are far from home.
All right. Oh, I see. So they can teleport you back and forth.
Not be hasty.
So Fangorn upturned. The woods are angry and have been thrust into chaos in our wake. Okay, so while they were gone doing stuff, Entwood may have suffered.
Home now. What business have you with the Ents? You should not be giving your right name away like so.
Okay, so it's nice that when the time comes, if I want... Got some quests here that I can dig around with. Dig into. I mean, this actually might be a kind of a cool place to quest. It's iconic. It's but it's not in the way. Like, I don't know if they spend a ton of time here. But let's teleport back, and let's stick with the task at hand.
Golodir sends more keys. Very well.
Okay, let's search another building.
Are you ready to continue the search for Lothrindir? There are many hidden rooms within the Ring of Isengard. Does my kinsman live still within one of these chambers?
Oh, that didn't work. Okay. Again, getting lag. And, you know, I shouldn't sweat the loss of XP bonuses for, like, killing things. I mean, most of the XP comes from the quests, so... Kind of taking a look below, like, could you swim? I'm trying to see if there's, like, if you fell off the rafters, is there a remedy to get back up? Far below in a large room, Halbarad beckons you onward. Oh, shit. Oh, wait, no, this isn't who we're looking for. Sorry. I thought, like, oh, we found him. I came to this room from another passage. It seems that the wall of Isengard is a warren of rooms and tunnels, but we will search them all for my kinsman. Saruman cannot hide him from us forever. Halbarad stops speaking and listens for a moment to the steady dripping of water in a distant corner. Wait, Black Lodge, someone comes. A pox on you, Black Lodge. You should not have come back. Is this the one that was like, I have no name? From Forakel? And you come in the company of another ranger? Have you not killed enough of their kind? I know who you are, Gun Ain. Lothrandir spoke of you when we rode south. Tell us where he is and it'll go easier for you. What makes you so certain you want to see him, Ranger? Very well. I will grant your wish. Lothrandir. Oh no. Come show your friends what has become of you. No! Angmarum Witch, what have you done to him? I'm not responsible for this. Your friend refused to cooperate with my master. He tried to resist. Saruman broke his mind. You lie. Tell us the truth, Gun Ain. You see no recognition in Lothrandir's eyes. He shakes and convulses before you, a pitiable figure that bears little resemblance to the strong-willed man you remember. Of all Saruman's crimes, this may be the one that strikes nearest to your heart. He seems to be trying to speak, but his words are muffled and his voice weak. Fall! What is it, Lothrandir? Goladir, look, is that? Oh no. Thal! Khan. Ooh. Falcon, what are you trying to tell us, Lothrandir? The Falcon clan is defeated. They have paid for their betrayal, my friend. What sorcery have they worked on my kinsman? Lothrandir is a shell of himself, and I will make those responsible for his sad state reap the reward of their crime. The Falcon clan may have paid Halbarad, but this woman has not, and Saruman has not. Lothrandir cannot avenge himself on them, so I will do it in his memory. Now the witch dies. Goladir, halt. Will her death ease even the smallest portion of our grief? It will not. I know that. I know that better than anyone. You will never know what you and your master took from us, Gun Ain. No words of mine can make you feel what we felt for our kinsman. But know this, in Forakel, Lothrandir showed you kindness. No others of my kin would have done the same. Lothrandir. I am sorry. I am sorry we did not come in time, my friend. Allow the Rangers time to mourn. You've seen anger in Gun Ain's eyes before today and fear, but never have you seen the look she gives you now. Her expression is pained. All I wanted was a name. I wanted to be someone again. I wanted a family to replace the one I had lost, friends to take the place of my emptiness, but there is no one. Look at them. That's what I wanted. But no one will miss me. No one will cry when I have gone. No one will mourn. I wanted a name, but all I have done is take names from this world. Why do I still serve Saruman? He has not given me what I sought. He could not. I gain nothing by furthering the wizard's plans. I speak now for myself, Black Lodge. I will not allow you and your friends to leave this place as you are. You cannot stop us from leaving, Witch. I will not let you leave before you hear these words. Lothrandir is still alive. What? Can this be? For the first time, Gunain's eyes are alight with a fierce and sudden joy. She exults in her words and radiates a restless energy. You spoke of the strength of Lothrandir's will, and you were not wrong. Saruman tried to exert control over his mind, tried with every ounce of his power, but still your friend resisted. The wizard wove convincing illusions and portraits of despair, but still Lothrandir fought. Many and powerful were the tricks he employed to break your friend's mind, but each one failed. Lothrandir remained strong, and the wizard could find no means of bending him to his will. In the end, Saruman had to abandon the effort. He took another prisoner from his cell, a Falcon Clan warrior named Kenned, who had proved unable to work in the pits, and dressed him in Lothrandir's garb. That is the poor creature you see before you. He has at last earned his freedom. Gunain hands you a small, nondescript key. Lothrandir is in a cell in this building's southernmost passage. Gunain, your crimes are many, and I do not forgive them. But we will have left this place believing our kinsman to be lost. I am grateful for this, thaw in your heart. For that reason, I name you Mercy, and I grant you safe passage from Isengard. We have no quarrel. Mercy. Return the way you came and look for the southernmost passage. Let me see something real quick. Starting to lose my voice a little bit, so I'm going to mute for a sec and get a cough drop going. All right, apologies in advance for all the mouth filth you're about to hear. Squinting in the half-light, a pile of rags reveals itself to be a weary prisoner. Is that you, Black Lodge? I did not think I would see you again. Lothrandir smiles weakly. The wizard was not pleased when you escaped. I almost felt sorry for Saruman. I think his orcs are endlessly disappointing him. Talk to Halbarad outside Lothrandir's cell. It's good to see you alive, my friend. Lothrandir is safe and we have accomplished our aim. I will be glad to leave this place behind us. Let us leave this sunken pit. I'll be glad to see daylight again, and I know Lothrandir must feel the same.
I know Gandalf too well to believe he comes from my counsel. But you, Theoden, King, it is not too late. Only I can help you now. Bah! You do not know the path of wisdom. Good day.
Saruman, I did not say you could go. Gandalf the Grey was betrayed by you, but I am not he. I am Gandalf the White, returned from death. Saruman, your staff is broken. You will work no more mischief here.
All right.
I cannot overstate my joy at Lothrandir's safe return.
I do not forgive Gunane of her crimes, but I hope the new woman that is Mercy finds some measure of peace. She has no place in Isengard any longer, and the path she takes from here will determine whether she ever finds another. Let's see what we can choose. See, a bump in vitality, that's pretty good. Physical mastery. Agility, this one's sort of in the same vein as what we got. And I'm going to go with the middle one, just to upgrade what we're working with.
What has become of Saruman?
Okay, we're at 16,447. 16,7. Nice, okay. Lothrandir suffered greatly at the hands of his captors, but his will remains strong, and I am certain he will recover from their torments. But what will become of Saruman? The crowd gathers by the foot of Orthanc. Go learn from them what has happened, and I will join you shortly. I'm not 100% sure where I'm supposed to go, so I'm going to go to the base of the entrance to Orthanc. So I think that's how it works, right? Like the tower is Orthanc, the whole area is Isengard.
I am pleased to hear my kinsman is safe.
I wished often that my friends might be close at hand, but I did not give voice to that desire, for I would not have wanted them put in danger. It is well that Lothrandir has emerged from the pit of Isengard unharmed. Saruman emerged too, but not for long. And though he has returned to the tower, I feel that his threat is ended. Gandalf will tell you more if you would listen. I suspect some further mischief of Saruman, and I was not wrong to expect it. But all is ended now, and safely.
Saruman will no longer be a danger to Rohan.
Saruman has come to the end of his power. I think he will no longer be a danger to Rohan. Gandalf sighs heavily, and you are surprised to see a deep sadness in his eyes. I offered him his freedom, but after working such deceits as he has done for so long, he did not see that it was an offer made in good faith. The treacherous see only treachery, and so it was with Saruman in the end. He has his life, but I fear he will not see this as a mercy. I have cast him from the Order and from the White Council. His staff is broken, and he will work no further plots. But he has his life. He will remain within Orthanc, and think on his own old designs, and mourn. But he will no longer endanger Rohan, and I think he knows that if Mordor does have victory in the days ahead, the servants of that land will not forget the treacheries he worked on his own behalf.
The Riddermark will suffer at the hands of Saruman no longer.
He is locked at his tower, and Gandalf has cast him from the Order of the Wizards. The traitor used one last weapon, and it may have been his deadliest, the power of his voice. I know the extent of his crimes, and even so I succumb to the soothing persuasion of his words. We are fortunate Gandalf was here and could shatter the reverie.
The most peculiar thing happened.
Saruman and Gandalf engaged in a debate a few moments ago, and just when Gandalf seemed to get the upper hand, this object came hurtling down toward us from the upper window. It hit no one, thank goodness, but it would have quite hurt had the aim been better. It was a dark globe of crystal, but with a fiery core deep in its heart. I picked it up and it seemed much heavier than its size. Very odd. I carried it up the steps and gave it to Gandalf, but when he saw what I bore, he hurried down and took it from me quickly. He says it was thrown not by Saruman, but by Grima Wormtongue, who I had the distinct displeasure of meeting just yesterday. The globe is a mystery. I wonder what it was.
Is it true? The threat of Isengard has ended?
Saruman has occupied our thoughts for so long and caused so much hardship, I never believed he would not. We have come so far, Black Lodge, from Rivendell, through Hollin, into Enedwaith, and Dunland, and here at last to the stronghold of Saruman. Many of our kin fell along the way, but each of them, all of them, were allies to the king to come. Aragorn, son of Arathorn, heir of Isildur. You too have been a friend of Aragorn, and to all of the Grey Company, I thank you. Wherever our road leads now, know that you have my thanks and my friendship. All right. This is a token, a bauble. Again, if I take this one as sort of like a straight upgrade, so I'll just do that. $17,000, nice. All right. Completed Allies of the King. Friend to the heir of Isildur. All right, so it looks like we just completed a deed for finishing Volume 3. We acquired a Volume 3 gift box. So Volume 3, yeah, I mean, there's a good chance. Let me just double check. It makes sense that this would be the end of Volume 3. Let's see, Lotro Volume 3. So Volume 3 quests. This is good. I mean, I feel like this, this makes sense. This feels like it's a self-contained story in a way. I mean, it's obviously, but, it takes us to sort of the end of part of the Two Towers. Again, the book is a weird creature because, like, the first half is this story dealing with Saruman, then all of a sudden it stops, rewinds, and then says, at the same time, let's see what was going on. But yeah, I think that might be it for now. I'm kind of curious. Let me just double check how to get to Volume 4. Okay, so Volume 4, Book 1. Yeah, because we just did Volume 3, Book 14. So mostly what I want to see is what oh, it keeps trying to do that. Level 95. So I feel like we should be able to start it because we're level 91. Okay, so somehow we are going to move on to the next book. I was just sort of looking up, so it's level 95. there is an introduction that we got to figure out how to get to. And I guess we'll go from there. But yeah, this has been really great. Like, again, like it's obviously a main storyline of the book. It was nice to be able to sort of eavesdrop on it. It's getting a little more, I don't want to say fan fiction, but it's getting harder and harder to have the side story not just merge straight up with the main plot of the narrative, the original narrative. So I get that. But yeah, in the end, like, again, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that Volume 3 gave us the Battle of Helm's Deep. This was just a genuinely, like, a really fun volume to get through. It didn't feel too arduous or tedious for the most part. And it's just great seeing these really iconic places here in Middle-earth. So what we'll do is we'll stop for now. Maybe I'll do a little research on how to find our way to the next step. See if I need to just like grind some levels or something, or if there's something else I can do just to jump in. But until then, this has been Black Lodge Trivia Night. I'm Art, doing our Lord of the Rings online book quest. Continuing now into the 4th volume. I don't know how many volumes there are. Level 91. Which I think now the current level cap is 150. But anyway, regardless, thank you again to everybody who checks this stuff out. I'm having a blast, obviously, and I'm definitely going to keep going and looking forward to it. But mainly we are a tabletop RPG actual play podcast channel. You know, take a look around and see if any of the systems we've played are to your liking. There's a bunch of them, and there's more to come. Like and subscribe, leave comments. If you prefer audio versions of our discussion podcasts or our actual plays, just search for Black Lodge Trivia Night wherever you get your audio, and we should show up. Jump into the Discord if you want. We talk about CRPGs, we talk about RPGs, all sorts of stuff. We've even gotten a game or two organized on the channel and hoping for more of that in the future. But more than anything else, just hope you're doing well. Thanks again for checking in. When this comes out, it'll be long past, but I'm recording it right before Thanksgiving. So hopefully the people in the United States who celebrate Thanksgiving, hope you had a good one. Thanks again. Take care. We'll be back soon. Bye-bye.